So I was 59 when I was first diagnosed with a moderate case of Crohn's in February 2019 from a routine colonoscopy.
Wow.
And I hadn't really had any symptoms until 3 weeks before this colonoscopy, and I was starting to get like weird bowel movements and some burning sensation, and I was like, "What's going on?" But then I thought, "Okay, I'm gonna get a colonoscopy. I'll go find out." And then I found out I had this, moderate case of Crohn's, and just looking at what made sense. And honestly, our chiropractor told us about Anthony William, the medical medium. You've probably heard of him.
Yes.
And his main protocol that he suggests people do is to drink organic celery juice and eliminate certain things from your diet. And so I said, well, what do I have to lose? So I started it um, and eliminated gluten, dairy, and sugar the best I could and had dramatic results.
Mm,
Basically, just doing that.
yeah.
And by the way, those symptoms I had before the colonoscopy went away after the procedure. And I kept doing that celery juice ongoingly,
Yeah.
as everything was fine. And in 8 months later, I had another colonoscopy, and 75% of it was gone, the inflammation, and within a year, it was completely healed. So everything was good for a few years until April of last year, of April 2022. I had this heart episode. It wasn't really a Anyway, I don't want to get into the details of that, but I'm totally fine now. But for a
Yeah.
period of time, they wanted me to be on a blood thinner and an aspirin, and I didn't like the idea, but I did it anyway because it was my heart, and I said, I better just do this, right? Because it was my heart.
Yeah.
But during that time, I noticed, because I checked my calprotectin ongoingly, it started going up. It was normal. It started going up. I'm like, what's going on? And so 4 months later, I was seeing my GI doctor, and it was up to 400 something. That freaked me out. In the
Uh-huh.
beginning, in the beginning, like in 2019, it was 169, and I thought that was high.
Yeah.
This is like late August. The diarrhea started. So for 4 months, those drugs were messing with my gut and my system, and then I started having symptoms 4 months later. Oh, actually, no, backtracking. In July, in the summer, is when I had this swollen foot. I didn't know
Yeah.
why, because I didn't have the connection yet about the Crohn's coming back from the NSAID and the meds. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on with my foot? I didn't hurt it. And then it kind of went away over time. It took a while. But then I started having diarrhea the end of August of last year, and it lasted for 5 months. And I was going 5 to 10 times a day, and I
But
was
the
losing almost
but
20
but
pounds over time.
wow. So I mean, well, you're getting chronic diarrhea, won't go away. You're having a few extra bowel movements. You're getting
Oh, a few. Yes.
a few extra bowel. So how many bowel movements were you having during that time? Maybe 4 to 7 in a
It
day?
was like 5 to 10.
Your bowel movements 5 to 10, having them in the middle of the night, you're getting a little mucus, chronic diarrhea, urgency, um, and it wasn't terrible. Like a lot of people out there, like, and a lot of testimonies are like these terrible. It was just this
Right.
active disease that was affecting your life, affecting your ability to sleep, you're affecting your relationship with your gut. But
Mhm.
what happened? I mean, because you had done a great job of getting gluten free and dairy free, and you were eating strict, and and you were doing the celery, and did that just stop working?
Yeah, I think just
That
be
wasn't enough at
somehow,
that
I
point.
guess not. Somehow this medication really, like, I think it ate away at my good gut bacteria. I don't know exactly what it did, but it messed me up.
So you're having these symptoms for months on end, and you're not getting where you had gotten before, and you'd stopped the NSAIDs. You don't know what's going on, and then when you looked at the Shield program, what made you feel like this could do anything different?
I saw your thing online, you online, Crohn's and colitis, and I took me a little bit to warm up to it. I wasn't too sure. I was like, what is this? Is it,
Is it
is it too good to be true? And then I thought, what the hell? I'll have a discovery call with Becky. And by
Yeah.
that time, that was in mid-November. And, and after having that, I knew I needed to do this. And she was great. And I thought, I absolutely need to do this. And then what's interesting is just a couple weeks later, I had another calprotectin test, and it was 6,320. And normally,
Right before you started, you had that call with Becky. You're thinking about it. You're thinking, I should do this, and then you get a calprotectin test. It's the highest you've ever seen in your life. That was mid-December, and it's now July 27th. So it's been maybe a little over 7 months.
Mhm. Yeah.
And let me ask you, what are your symptoms now?
I have no diarrhea. I mean, occasionally I get some loose stuff or whatever, but nothing.
As does every human on the planet.
Yeah. Yes, and I have like 1 to 3 about healthy bowel movements a day.
Wow.
Yeah,
and you're sleeping through the night?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I get up to pee, but that was happening way before this.
Yeah, you're waking up to pee, but you're not waking up for a bowel movement anymore. You're having 1 to 3 normal bowel movements today, no more diarrhea, no more urgency or mucus, and no bloating, cramping, and pain, gas. All that's normal.
Yeah.
And I mean, and how long have you been feeling good now?
At least a few months. Yeah. Even when I wasn't totally, still working at getting these numbers down, and my calprotectin is gradually, I kept doing it went down to 9. So after being in the program for 2 months, it went from 6,000 to 988. Wow. Now that's still high, but dramatically lower than what it was. And then it went to, I don't know, whatever it was, I guess 98 to 3 something, and then to 79, and now it's at 56.
Wow.
But it took me a longer time to gain weight. Like I lost about 20 pounds, and some of it, obviously, I'm realizing now I needed to lose because I was a little over.
Yeah.
And I didn't gain any weight back until May. And really, it's like 5 months later. But now I've gained, almost 10 pounds, and I feel actually at a healthier weight now than I did.
Let me ask you in all this, how important was it to have Coach Armand? Could you have done this and got this type of success without your one-on-one coach being there?
Absolutely
jump
not.
On and help you?
Absolutely not. I was so relieved to finally have a call with him. My first call was 2 hours. I was crying. And I was talking to him like every week for the first few weeks because I needed it. I really just needed it. It was overwhelming at first, and I had to kind of dial in what I needed to do. It's definitely work, but I recommend it to anybody. Like, if you want to really heal, you can do it, and there's a lot of support in this community. And Armand was awesome.
And how important was also that direct messaging? Because you're not just having one-on-one calls, you're also able to message back and forth and have that communication on what's this and what's that. Was that really important too, just to have them be able to answer those questions when they came in?
It definitely was. Yeah.
I mean, you've been through so much, and the first time when you first started had this issue come up, it seemed a little bit more simple. I'm gonna change my diet, I'll drink some celery juice, and everything went okay. And now it became more complex, but you were able to come with it with a stronger protocol.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though you had so many more avenues, you had a customized plan that was refined over months, and you're still refining it. I mean, even in the last month or two, have you been learning and growing in the program?
Definitely. Absolutely. And I mean, it's for me.
7 months later, you're still getting ROI, you're still learning, you're still communicating, you're still shifting and having that continued education.
Yeah, your weekly trainings are really helpful to keep me dialed in and staying the course. And I don't have to obviously have such a strict diet that I did the first few months. I'm able to incorporate more things, so I'm feeling more normal.
Now, for anyone out there who's really resonating with your journey and is feeling connected to you, was there one thing in the program that you'd like to highlight that you feel like really helped?
Yeah, I guess getting the guidance about how to really simplify the diet and using the shakes and resting and healing the system. I still do the shakes, not every day, but a few times a week.
So so finding a simple strategy, we call it the daily blueprint, simplifying a daily effort that got consistency, that you had consistency, didn't overwhelm you, but you also felt comfortable. This is impactful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was big for you.
Right, and just the community, and having the platform where I can just watch and read what other people are going through and learning so much from that.
And you're able to talk to them too, right? You can say, hey, what's up? How are you?
I always look for your answers to see what you're going to say to people, and it's really helpful for sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Eileen, what would be your piece of advice from out there who could really relate with you and now where you are, what would you say to them?
I would say to do this program, absolutely. And you, yeah, I would just say to do the program, you're going to get the support you need and the help. They customize everything. It's very personalized. And I just highly recommend, because it's hard. It's hard out there when you're trying to figure it out, when you got doctors in your ear telling you, to do these drugs. And I'm not against drugs. It's just that they're a temporary help, and they don't really go to the root cause or solve, heal.
So get in the program, get a customized solution, be a part of the community, and maybe they can even say hello to you and say, Eileen, your story helped me be here, and it's great to meet you.
Sure. Yeah.